Okay, I'm gonna re-rank all 21 MCU films. And originally I wasn't gonna, but then I realized it changed drastically. My opinion is completely different because, like, I pretty much rewatch like all the MCU films, and some I put lower in the spectrum I didn't really enjoy, and some I put higher in the spectrum I didn't really enjoy, or I did enjoy. So it's one of those things where it's like I didn't want to because I didn't think Captain Marvel had that big of an effect on the MCU. And at first I said like, "Oh, she's gonna be in the top 10," but now I kind of took a little bit second thought, and now it's completely changed. It's completely changed, and that's kind of why it made this ranking inevitable. So let's get right into it. So coming in 21st place will be Thor: The Dark World. Same place it was last time. End of the spectrum. Really, just same problems. Like they didn't really know where the tone was gonna be, causing it to be really like it felt like it really did not fit in the MCU and did not belong in the MCU. While the humor falls flat, so does the action, and this is probably the most forgettable Thor, most forgettable Loki, and most Jane was so boring in this movie. She was pretty boring in the first one too, but it took everything, it sucked it out, and of course you gotta mention Malekith. How I don't know, like you sometimes you could even I forgot his name. Sometimes I don't. He's just not memorable. He's just like that big bad. That does not fit whatsoever. Coming in 20th place, and be the Incredible Hulk. Same as last time. Again, this definitely feels like the black sheep. Again, having Edward Norton instead of Mark Ruffalo definitely felt weird. Like if you watch if like like I did when I did my MCU rewatch, I was like, it was just stunning because it truly made a difference that it wasn't. So that when you rewatch that movie again, you definitely feel the tone is completely different. And I don't really buy the Banner and Banner and I just don't buy him Banner and Betty Ross's relationship. And then cramming in, like the Abomination stuff I did enjoy, but like other than that I just felt like it didn't really offer much. It was like one of those ones where it's like the MCU's it's not on its own a bad movie. I just think in the MCU it just doesn't fit. Coming in 19th place is going to be Iron Man 2. Again, for me, this one changed. Instead of being in 18th, it moved to 19th because when I rewatched it, I just felt like frustrated and disappointed because they introduced so many plot lines that I enjoyed, but only spent them about maybe 1/10 of the movie because of how many plot. I think on its own they all would have worked, but they weren't on its own. They were, all together, and it just did not feel something that I can enjoy because it was something where actionless. And if you're gonna and but I didn't really take away from that because there were some intriguing plot points, but they really didn't lead anywhere as it was just there to kind of only introduce more threads in the MCU, and that's definitely why it's frustrated. Is they didn't go anywhere with it in the movie. There's so many like this. I'm gonna make a whole new video about Iron Man 2, and I'm thinking I'm gonna make like a whole series of reviewing all these. But for now, it bugged me. It really did. So that's Thor. I mean not Thor. That's Iron Man 2. Well, 18th place is Thor. Again, kind of problems. I mean, the humor, when I rewatched it, the humor did land better than the first time I watched it. But again, same kind of problems. I wish they would explore Asgard a little bit more. I wish they would have, so much elements just missed. Jane felt boring. It was kind of interesting, but not that interesting. I think introducing Hawkeye and Agent Coulson, that was fine. Well, Agent Coulson wasn't introduced in this movie, but his part was cool. But ultimately, it wasn't like, this is a standout MCU. No, I just think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it just is like pretty plain. It's not one of those, like, I like the Asgard stuff and I like the Frost Giants, but they didn't really explore it enough. So again, a pretty frustrated and mixed MCU film for me. Coming in 17th place is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Again, for me, this was mixed for me because, yet again, the humor was jacked up. But, like, there were so many people introduced, so many things that happened. Like, one of the biggest mistakes was I didn't like the whole idea that Star-Lord was a celestial, because it took away from his humanness, because one of the charms was that he was a human and that living in space, and that took away from it when when you figure out, oh, his mom really didn't die. Yeah, it's a pretty big twist. But that's not a twist. I like the whole concept of his mother dies. That's totally fine. But his father implanting it didn't really apply to me. And then introducing those golden people at the beginning was like, I feel like, because I knew now, and I feel like they're going to go with Adam Warlock in the volume 3. I just figured that was better to introduce them then. And ultimately, it was like, it frustrated me because, like, it was so pointless. It was just used to push the plot forward in this movie by a really little, just to make it, just to push the plot forward and to set up volume 3. Other than that, I feel like you could have done without, yet they didn't do without. So yeah. Oh, and not all the humor was good. Some humor was Coming 16th place is Captain Marvel. This is a conflicting one, because on one hand I want to love it. On one hand, well, I'm not gonna say I want to hate it, but on the one hand I just feel like I can't love it as much as I want to. As a standalone film, it's good, but I just, like, in the MCU, like, I love Nick Fury, I love Agent Coulson, I love the Skrulls and all that, but all in all, I feel like I wanted more, but they didn't give us more. I feel like this movie, like, God, the way they told this movie was not really interesting, not really exciting. We're learning as through Carol's eyes, and that was, at times, can be confusing. And I don't know. I like the Star Force. I like their world building of this Kree world. But other than that, I feel like outside of what it represents in the MCU, I think they throwing in what Captain Marvel represents is not something that Captain Marvel should truly represent. And you see this throughout the whole movie, is she's trying to represent the boys. Boys are down here, women are there. I don't find that equal balance. The fish out of water stuff, again, yeah, it was 90s, so it kind of had a little bit more twist, but it, for me, didn't really connect. And while I know it was a big twist, I feel like I kind of wish the Skrulls kind of were the villains. I don't know. It wasn't exactly what I wanted and expected. The height was up here, and it kind of went down there. So coming in 15th place is gonna be Ant-Man. Again, it's a good movie. It's funny. I like the heist, and from kind of here on out, I thoroughly enjoyed these movies. But obviously the big thing that takes it down is that the villain is just too much like Obadiah Stane. I just feel like taking too much from a good movie in its own franchise, it just doesn't work. As the sense that it's generic and we've got it before. I mean, know what's gonna happen. It's just a generic villain that could take away from the plot. As far as the humor in the heist, it's all just fun and adventure. But with some problems. I think that's definitely a big part because every time it gets so climactic, you keep remembering that you kind of know how it happens. But the small scale, all that stuff, it just works to deliver kind of one of those subtle but charming movies that I get to that I think I truly enjoy. I'm coming in 14th place is Doctor Strange. Again, it's a pretty drastic change from going, 15th to 14th. But I just find more love. I just find more enjoyment through this movie, I think. And I think that's the big thing you have to understand. Is I do find myself thoroughly enjoy this movie because if you can kind of rewatching it over and over again, you kind of do understand the mystical world, and it actually allows you to explore more things later in the MCU. But I feel like all in all, but yet still like I have the same problems as it is a little bit confusing at times. But the action, the way they use great visuals, and the way they actually have a good utilization of Doctor Strange powers, and then again, like his love interest, well, I didn't really like it. But all in all, I think I enjoyed it more than before, and that's definitely a good thing. I'm definitely, excited for possible Doctor Strange 2. And then they definitely teased it, and all the characters, the ancient one, all of it, it finds a way to work. So that's my MCU ranking part 1. I'm gonna make a part 2, hopefully not a part 3. But yeah, wow.